all 144 cubits, according to the measure of a man. 144, and we found that the number of genes, 144, and the number saved, 144. The interesting point here is this is the measurement of the temple, and the temple is something that is not made with hands. The temple is that which is inside of you where the all-seeing eye is. Now, what does that tell you? If that is the temple, if 144 is the temple, DNA, what did you just see on the screen a few moments ago? Who is in the temple? The money changers are in the temple, aren't they? The money changers are getting patents on the DNA. The money changers are going to try to see that only if there is a great profit will you receive, which is coming from the supreme light being. In other words, the money changers are in the temple getting patents on your parts to make sure that no healings will take place unless they get a cut of the profit and unless there are big profits. And so the money changers, what will happen to the money changers? Look at B29, or is it B28, I think it is. B28? There a B, it's not a B29 in, huh? No.
You gotta switch.
Okay. Well, this is the point that, unfortunately, and we did this again last night, and I just wanted to show you. Let me read it to you. And Matthew 21:12. And Jesus went into the temple of God, that's you, and cast out all them that sold and bought in the temple, and overthrew the tables of the money changers and the seats of them that sold doves, and said unto them, It is written, My house shall be called the house of prayer, but you have made it a den of thieves. So now we know what this is about. I never knew, about the money changers in the temple other than from reading in this book about somebody selling pigeons and whatever, But that has nothing to do with that. But in your day and age, right here, as you're alive, you see the proof of the money changers being in the temple. There is no doubt whatsoever that the money changers are in the temple. And if we look just one more time at 236, overhead 236, there they are. Business is getting in the way of scientific research. Business is getting in the way, right in here with the ladder, the twisted ladder, the serpent, the cosmic serpent. And look at, they're in there, and they're doing business in there. So the money changers are in the temple. And according to the scriptures, it is Jesus who must go into the temple. And what is Jesus? Jesus is the sun, is the light. Did you find it? This is what I wanted to show you. And Jesus went into the temple of God and cast out all of them that sold and bought in the temple. And this is what we were talking about, Don. They're buying and they're selling in the temple right now. They're buying and selling in your temple. And they overthrew the tables and said, It is written, My house, which is the temple, shall be called the house of prayer. That's the place where the pineal communicates with the great eye. But you have made it a den of thieves. So what then is going to happen on this earth? Do you believe any of this stuff? I mean, do you know that there is this all-seeing eye? You do. Do you know that genetic research is about ready to eliminate cancer and all of these diseases? You do. But do you also know that the money changers are lining up so they can get a cut of this? You do. But now you see also that according to the scriptures, something is going to drive them out. And do you know what's going to happen when they're driven out? That means corporations are going to collapse. That means stock markets are going to collapse. That means the medical industry itself may collapse because they're not going to be able to do this anymore. This healing is a cosmic healing. And I promise you that the money changers who have moved into the temple of 144 will be driven away, and there will be screaming, but the celestial cosmic beauty of the 144 will be restored. There will be trouble. So what do you have to do? You have to make sure that you're in your meditation, and you have to make sure that you are closing your eyes as the great eye opens. Now that doesn't mean you walk around with your eyes closed. I mean, let's be reasonable. What I am saying to you is that for communing and communicating with the great eye, that you close your eyes in meditation, you sit in the darkness of meditation, you start watching yourself so that this collapse happens and that you start functioning in a harmony with Eta Carina and especially now Supernova 1987. That for God's sakes you start taking some of the proof that I've offered here to you seriously and say, this is no longer kidding around. That you start to realize for the first time in your life, you are actually experiencing a time when you know doggone well that indeed I am alive and the money changers are in the temple, because the temple is your DNA and these people are in wheeling and dealing to buy and sell and to own parts of your DNA. And now is this the... And remember something. The Jesus who drives the money changers out of the temple is the same person in the Bible who says, if your eye be single, your body will fill with light. So it is the single eye of Supernova 1987A, opening now to send the light upon the earth, and that one in the Bible who was quoted as speaking of that single eye is the same one who said, I must drive the money changers out of the temple. I must, and don't think it's going to be easy, because at the time when the money changers start to be driven out of the temple, there is going to be lots of trouble here on planet Earth. Open your eyes. The eye will then again be closed. In other words, the violence out of supernova will have ended, and there will be peace upon the earth. And the temple will be restored free of the money changers. They shall hunger no more, neither thirst any more, neither shall the sun light on them, nor any heat, for the Lamb which is in the midst of the throne shall feed them. That's your pineal gland, that's your light receptor. And shall lead them unto living fountains of waters, and God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes. So you know what you have to do, and you make the decision whether you wish to do it or if you're going to stand up on the street and with them, because there's going to be trouble. But the good part is the good guy wins, and we know what's going to happen at the end, because we are all going to open our eyes and come out into a new dawn of a new millennium, of a new earth and a new heaven, where there will be no cancer and no diabetes and no Alzheimer's, and the money changers will have been purged and driven away, and they will be retreating back to the mountains, and their banks will be emptied and their pocketbooks will be dry, but you will be free. And as much as you have